In this video, pag-uusapan natin ang 5 red flags that you need to watch for before buying life insurance from your advisor here in Canada. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sheila, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because every week I post videos where I simplify things I know about personal finance and share my personal experiences para mas marami pa sa ating mga kababayan ang maging financially educated dito sa Canada. If you're new in Canada or maybe matagal ka na dito at hanggang ngayon wala ka pang insurance o kahit may insurance ka na, panoorin mo pa rin itong video na ito kasi baka isa ka sa mga taong nakaka-experience personally ng mga red flags na ito. I'm not here to bash any companies and I'm not gonna name any companies here, but I just wanna raise awareness so that you will know that these things exist in this industry. I don't want more Filipinos to be taken advantage of because I was once a victim of some of these red flags and how I wish talaga na merong nag-educate sa akin ng mga bagay-bagay na ito nung mga panahong wala akong kaalam-alam. Number 1 on our list is not taking the time to understand your needs. And I can personally relate to this nung mga panahong wala pa ako sa industry kasi ito talaga yung naging experience ko sa mga past advisors ko. Kasi syempre, nung bata pa ako, hindi ko pa masyado iniisip yung mga ganitong bagay. Pero I think a part of it is because wala talaga ako naging advisor na talagang nag-take time na alamin yung situation ko at i-educate ako financially. Wala man lang nag-attempt na i-guide ako on how I can improve my finances. Lahat ng naging advisors ko in the past, kung ano yung sasabihin ko na gusto ko, yun lang mismo yung ibibigay nila sa akin. Hindi man lang nila i-explain how that product works in my situation or if there's any other product na mas suited sa situation ko. You know, they would just set up everything for me. It was so transactional. Nobody took the time to explain why I needed insurance and why I needed that coverage. So for me talagang dati, wala akong kagana-gana kapag usapang life insurance na. Hindi ko rin kasi naiintindihan why I needed it and why I also needed critical illness insurance or why I should start investing or saving early. Meron ako naging advisor, kakikilala pa lang namin, may naka-ready na agad siyang solusyon para sa akin. So I met this advisor through a common friend. And I don't know kung naranasan nyo na ba yun, yung tipong you just met each other, nag-present siya sa'yo, pagkatapos diretso agad siya dun sa solusyon na ipopropose niya sa'yo. Ang tanong ko lang dun, paano niya kaya agad naintindihan yung needs ko? Paano niya nalaman na that is the best company that she should match with me? Na that is the best product that is suited in my needs and goals. How can she tell na she shop around for me from different companies to make sure na yung ima-match niya sa akin is a good company for my needs? Kung agad-agad meron na siyang solusyon at meron na siyang naka-ready na company na gusto niyang recommend sa akin. Nito ko lang talaga na-realize to, pero back then kasi because of lack of financial education, kahit ano na lang talagang i-offer sa akin, yun yung kukuhanin ko kahit hindi ko talaga naiintindihan kung bakit kailangan ko yung product na yun. And because of that, parang nawawalan ng value yung isang bagay. Would you agree? And this topic about protecting and securing your future is so important na I feel like someone should understand it really well so they can make an informed decisions for themselves and for their families. Naniniwala talaga ako dun sa sinasabi nilang prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. That is so true. A good advisor should know and understand your needs first before proposing any plan in the first place. If your advisor is not taking the time to understand your needs and right away meron na siya agad solusyon, then that is a major red flag. Number 2 red flag is not giving you options for different ways to structure your insurance policy. If your advisor is showing you only one solution for your situation, then that is also a huge red flag. There are so many people out there who will try to push you one product and it's the same solutions they give to everyone. Merong mga companies dyan na puro term insurance lang ang ibibigay nila sa clients nila. Meron din naman na puro universal life lang ang gustong ibigay sa clients nila. At yung iba naman, puro whole life insurance lang ang paborito nilang ibigay sa mga kliyente nila. Pero sabi ko nga nga sa inyo in my previous videos na term insurance is not for everyone, just like permanent insurance is not for everyone. I know that you will agree with me na walang one size fits all when it comes to financial solution. Kasi lahat ng tao, magkakaiba yan ng financial situation, magkakaiba rin ng mga priorities, at magkakaiba rin ng mga short-term and long-term goals. A financial solution, especially insurance, should be based on your unique situation. Hindi yung temporary resident pa nga lang yung status mo, $300 a month na yung binabayad mo sa insurance mo. Minimum salary pero ang mahal-mahal ng binabayad mo sa insurance dahil sabi sa'yo, abay mag-invest ka sa insurance mo. Yung iba naman, ang laki-laki ng needs pero mas maliit na insurance coverage ang ibinibigay sa kliyente nila. Meron kasing company out there na the more na maliit na term insurance ang ibigay nila sa client nila, mas malaki ang commission na makukuha nila. Medyo weird nga no, pero this is true. And masama dito, naiiwan yung tao na underinsured. Ang laki-laki ng insurance needs dahil may mortgage, may mga maliliit pa na anak, marami pang mga utang. Ang insurance coverage ang liit-liit, halos hindi pa covered ang buong mortgage. Ito lang ang tanong ko sa'yo. Would you like your advisor to give you a solution not because it's best for your situation, but because it's the only product that they can sell you or it's the only product that they want to sell because of their own financial incentives? Marami akong mga clients na nagsabi na sa akin na hindi nila alam na mayroong palang mas cost-effective option for their situation kasi ang ipinakita sa kanila ng advisor nila is puro naglalakihang premium kaagad. Meron namang nagsabi na puro term insurance lang ang pinakita sa kanila, yun pala, meron palang way na kumuha ng kahit na maliit na permanent insurance for final expense. In case na ma-outlive nila yung term insurance nila, there will always be money na magagamit ng pamilya nila pang funeral sa kanila. Your advisor should give you at least 3 options to choose from on how to structure your policy in a way na nagme-make sense sa financial situation mo and sa goals mo. Kasi mamaya, gusto mo nga kumuha ng malaking premium ng insurance pero hindi naman nagme-make sense sa situation mo kasi meron kang naglalakihang utang na kailangan mo munang i-prioritize. A good advisor will advise you to, hey, why don't we do this? Let's get a more affordable option for now, something na flexible na pwede mong i-improve or i-upgrade once na yung finances mo is maging better na. Pero ang maganda dito, if you get this insurance now, you can lock in your insurability. So kahit naghihintay tayong maging okay yung finances mo and down the road, you develop some sort of medical condition, wag naman sana, meron pa ring way to improve yung insurance mo. Kasi ngayon, based on your financial needs analysis, ang dami mong naglalakihang utang. Why don't you prioritize those first and then let's set up an emergency fund para naman pag may emergency, hindi ka na naman mababaon sa utang. Once na okay na tong dalawa, then we can improve your insurance. Anyway, nalock in mo na rin naman yung insurability mo or your ability to get insurance. Now, ang sasabihin ng iba, mas bata pa siya ngayon. Mas okay na maganda na yung insurance na kuhanin niya kasi mas mura yung premium niya. Mas mura nga yung insurance premium niya, kaya lang meron naman siyang mga naglalakihang utang na halos nababaon na siya sa utang dahil sa napakatitinding mga interest rate. A good advisor will say, why don't you take care of your debts first and then let's chat after a year to reassess things, to reassess your insurance. Your premium shouldn't increase that much after 1 to 2 years. Pero ang importante, na-allocate mo na yung pera mo in things that will put you in a much better situation financially. Insurance is very important, but it shouldn't be all about insurance. Isn't that how it's supposed to be? Number 3 red flag is not giving you an explanation on how your coverage works. When choosing an advisor, you should choose someone who can explain or simplify to you how your coverage truly works in a simpler way. Yung tipong confident ka to what you have kasi naiintindihan mo yung value ng protection na meron ka. Naiintindihan mo yung coverage mo, yung limitations ng policy mo, every single details of your policy, yung inclusions and exclusions, hanggang kailan ka may coverage, kung permanent naman yan, bakit kailangan mo ng permanent insurance, ano ba yung purpose mo mo dito? Is it for estate planning or is it for investment? Kailangan naiintindihan mo lahat yan. Kung investment yan, unang-una, ang tanong dyan, na-maximize mo na ba ang mga registered accounts mo such as TFSA, RRSP, or FHSA? Naiintindihan mo ba how your investment could work in this policy? Ano yung mga guarantees? Ano ang projection? Saan ba naka-invest yung pera mo? How can you access your money in the future? Magkano ang interest rate sa policy loan? Meron bang institution ang magpapahiram ng collateral loan sa'yo? Where's the contract where it says all of these? You have to feel confident that you know exactly what you're buying in kapag may nagtanong sa'yo kung alam mo ba kung anong meron ka. Hindi yung bayad ka lang ng bayad tapos pag dumating na yung claim time, madidisappoint ka dahil akala mo covered ka sa isang bagay, yun pala hindi naman. Akala mo ma-execute mo yung yearly retirement income mo, yun pala sobrang strict ng requirements sa lending kaya walang halos magpa-collateral loan sa'yo. Kaya ayun, ang gagawin mo, uutangin mo na lang yung pera mo at i-withdraw mo na lang na 100% taxable for you. Number 4 red flag is if your advisor is pressuring you to buy quickly. If someone is rushing you into a decision or pushing you to buy without giving you enough time to fully understand your policy, then that's a red flag. Pero syempre, iba din naman yung nakita mo agad yung value ng product. Nakita mo agad yung value ng protection kasi na-explain sa'yo maigi ng advisor mo. Then sure, you can take it. After being in this industry for quite some time now, I met clients who would get coverage on the spot and others who would take months to decide on the right plan. I've reached a point where I no longer chase clients who can't make a decision after a few follow-ups. I know the value I bring as their advisor and I'm confident in the quality of products and solution I offer to them. I know that if they get what I'm recommending them, then they will be in a much better situation. If your advisor is not giving you products you don't need, then there's really no need for him or her to pressure you or use scare tactics just so you make a decision. Kailangan mag-take time ka to review your options. Huwag kang magpapa-pressure and make sure you're asking a lot of questions. It's okay to take time, pero kung naiintindihan mo naman yung value na sinasabi ng advisor mo and you have the means to protect your family, then you should take action before it's too late. If not, feel free to wait. But remember, risk will come whether you're prepared or not, and insurance premiums will rise whether you're ready or not. And last red flag is if your advisor is telling you to put your savings and investments in an insurance plan. And this is one of the biggest traps that many Filipinos experience here in Canada, and I have personally experienced it myself. That's why I want to share this with all of you on this platform so you don't make the same mistake I did. I remember those days na wala talaga akong kaalam-alam sa money, sa finance, and kapag pinag-usapan na nga itong mga bagay-bagay na to, talagang na-overwhelm ka agad ako. So kung ano yung sabihin sa akin and sa tingin ko na nagbe-make sense naman, maganda yung pine-present sa akin, yun talaga yung gagawin ko without doing any research. I would sign all the papers without fully understanding kung ano ba yung sinasign ko. Ang daming Pilipinong ganyan. E nung napagpresentan ako ng insurance and investment, abay talaga namang ginanahan akong kumuha ng mas magandang insurance na mas malaki yung premium na ilalagay ko. Kasi ba naman may insurance ka na, may investment ka pa daw. Ang sabi pa sa akin, wag na akong mag-RESP. Sa insurance ko na lang ilagay yung pera ko. Kasi pwede naman akong mag-loan dyan for my son's education in the future. Tapos ang sabi pa sa akin, mababa din naman ang mga returns dyan sa TFSA and RRSP. And may mga limitations pa yung contributions dyan. Siyempre, ito naman ako, having low financial knowledge at that time, nakinig naman ako, no? Ayun, winidraw ko yung RESP ko. Diba ang galing? Kasi not only na nagkaroon ako ng maraming tax implications dun sa withdrawal ko, ang nangyari pa is I lost yung mga free money na binigay ng gobyerno. So talagang sobrang saklap. Kaya mahirap na wala kang financial education. Tapos, hindi rin naman ako na-advise nung other advisor ko about the tax implications of withdrawing my RESP. RESP. Kaya ayun, nawala na lang talaga lahat. Kaya shout out talaga dyan sa mga past advisors ko. I really learned a lot from you na hindi talaga ganyan ang gagawin ko. Sabi nila mababa daw ang returns dyan sa TFSA and RSP. Kung saan naman nila ini-invest yung insurance nila, pwede mo rin yung gawin sa TFSA and RSP mo. Meron ka pang mga tax advantages at wala ka pang mga policy fees, administration fees, cost of insurance, and also complicated ways to access your money in the future. And your money is very liquid, meaning very accessible siya if you really need it. I'm sharing this because I want you to know that investing in life insurance is not the best option for the majority of Filipino and Canadians. This strategy is reserved for the minority of people here in Canada. Para lang to sa mga high-income earners who are maximizing their registered accounts as well as the business owners who are looking for ways to park their excess money while having some tax advantages. Pero investing in life insurance cannot beat RRSP, TFSA, and first-time home savings account, pati yung mga RESP mo dyan sa education fund ng anak mo, kung hindi mo pa naman na ma-maximize ang mga registered accounts na ito. Now, I do have a different opinion for insurance and investment for your kids. As long as you're prioritizing your RESP and wala kang mga utang and may mortgage ka na at stable na ang buhay mo dito sa Canada. I am personally a huge believer of life insurance and critical illness insurance for kids, and I know that different advisors will have a different opinion about this, but this is a discussion for a separate video. Kaya i-discuss ko na lang itong topic na to about insurance for kids in my future videos. And that concludes our video about the 5 red flags you need to be aware of before buying your life insurance from your advisor here in Canada. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit the notification bell para updated kayo sa mga bagong videos kong i-release every single week. I-share mo na rin tong video na to sa mga pamilya mo, sa mga kaibigan mo. I really hope you learn a lot in our video today. If you need help in getting you the right life insurance based on the goals and budget you have, then feel free to message me on Facebook or one of my social media accounts. Just type in my full name, Sheila Cabukol, and I'd love to make sure your life insurance is set up correctly here in Canada. Hanggang sa muli at magkita-kita tayo sa susunod na episode ng She Loves Finance.